Born on the windswept plains of Mongolia, Kublai Khan carried the blood of Genghis and the weight of an empire. He was a horse lord who became a Chinese emperor, a conqueror who built palaces, a ruler whose armies marched across continents yet could not conquer the sea. This is the story of the man who forged the Yuan Dynasty and reshaped two worlds at once. Kublai was born in 1215, grandson of the legendary Genghis Khan. He grew up in a world of dust, horses, and conquest. From childhood, he learned the bow, the saddle, and the language of command. But unlike many of his kinsmen, Kublai was drawn to the settled world beyond the steppe. He welcomed Chinese scholars into his camp, listened to their teachings on government, philosophy, and statecraft. In 1259, the empire fractured. His brother Mongol, the Great Khan, died suddenly during a campaign in China. The throne was contested. Kublai's younger brother, Ariq Böke, seized power in Karakoram, the old Mongol capital. Civil war erupted. Kublai, advised by Chinese officials, declared himself Great Khan in 1260 and rallied armies to his cause. After years of brutal war, Ariq Böke surrendered. Yet the scars of that struggle weakened the unity of the Mongol world. The Western Khanates would drift away. Kublai would build his own vision of empire not in the steppes, but in China. In the south, the Song Dynasty still held power. For 3 centuries, they had ruled the wealthy, fertile lands of the Yangtze Basin. If Kublai was to be more than a steppe warlord, he needed China entire. The key was the fortress city of Xiangyang, guarding the Han River. For years, it resisted Mongol assault. But in 1268, Kublai brought in Persian and Arab engineers who unveiled a new weapon. The counterweight trebuchet, stone after stone, shattered the city's defenses. In 1273, Xiangyang fell. The way to the Yangtze was open. By 1276, Mongol armies marched into Linan, today's Hon. The child Emperor Gong of Song was carried away in defeat. Only one last resistance remained: the loyalists who fled south with the boy's younger brother. At Yamen in 1279, the Song navy made its final stand. Surrounded by Mongol ships, ministers chose death over surrender. Some clutched the child Emperor Zhao Bing as they leaped into the sea. The dynasty drowned with him. For the first time in history, all of China lay under one foreign ruler, Kublai Khan. Kublai did not simply conquer, he built. In 1271, he declared the founding of a new dynasty, the Yuan. He chose a new capital, Dadu, today's Beijing. Mongol tents gave way to avenues laid on a grid, imperial palaces rising in marble and timber. His government blended steppe tradition with Chinese bureaucracy. The empire was divided into provinces. A central secretariat directed taxes and law. A postal relay network of horse stations spanned the land. Kublai proclaimed tolerance for all faiths. Buddhists, Taoists, Muslims, Christians all found a place at his court. But perhaps his boldest innovation was economic. He issued paper money on a grand-scale mulberry bark notes called chow. Backed by the power of the state, they circulated across the empire. Marco Polo marveled, writing that the Khan could make wealth from nothing but ink and bark. The yuan linked north and south with expanded canals. Grain from the rich south flowed to the north, feeding the capital and the armies. For a moment, it seemed the dream of a Mongol world empire could be made permanent. But Kublai was not satisfied with China. He cast his eyes across the seas. In 1274, he launched the first invasion of Japan. 900 ships, 40,000 men. The samurai fought fiercely, and a sudden storm wrecked much of the fleet. Still, Kublai believed Japan could be taken. In 1281, he tried again with 4,000 ships and nearly 140,000 men. The largest amphibious force assembled until the 20th century. But nature was against him. After weeks of stalemate, a typhoon swept in. The Japanese called it kamikaze, the divine wind. Ships shattered, men drowned, the great armada destroyed. Kublai's dream of conquering Japan died in the waves. He sent armies into Vietnam, into Java. Victories were brief, costs immense. The Mongol way of war, swift cavalry across the plains, was ill-suited to jungles and seas. The Khan who had conquered China could not master the oceans. Even in failure abroad, Kublai's court dazzled visitors. In 1275, a Venetian merchant arrived, Marco Polo. He would spend 17 years in Kublai's realm, serving as envoy and observer. He wrote of grand palaces roofed in gold, of feasts with thousands of guests, of roads and markets humming with life. Some details were exaggerated, perhaps even invented, but his descriptions conveyed a truth. Kublai's court was cosmopolitan, rich, and astonishing to outsiders. Meanwhile, in Persia, the historian Rashid al-Din recorded Kublai's reign from afar, portraying a ruler burdened by ambition and the weight of empire. Between these accounts, we glimpse a man both awe-inspiring and human, a conqueror who became a statesman, a nomad who wore the robes of a Chinese emperor. But empire takes its toll. Kublai's beloved wife, Chabi, died. His chosen heir, Jingim, died soon after. Grief hollowed him. Food and drink dulled the pain. His health declined. By 1294, Kublai Khan was obese, diabetic, and weary. He died in his capital, Dadu, at the age of 79. The Yuan Dynasty endured for less than a century more before falling to the Ming. The other Khanates of the Mongol world Golden Horde, Ilkhanate, Chagatai, had already gone their own way. The dream of a united Mongol Empire was gone. Yet Kublai's legacy remained. A China forever altered, a world forever linked. Kublai Khan was more than Genghis's grandson. He was the bridge between steppe and city, sword and seal, conquest and civilization. He ruled China, dreamed of the seas, and forged a dynasty, both foreign and Chinese. But even the mightiest emperor could not command the winds of heaven. The Yuan would fade. The man would die. Yet the legend of Kublai Indurasan, Emperor of Two Worlds. The past has many more stories to tell. And history, Dude BC, is just getting started. Hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you in our next journey through time. We've only just begun to scratch the surface of what happened in the 1000 years before Christ. And I have a feeling you're gonna want to be around for this. So hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single episode. With your support, I can keep bringing these videos to life. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.